What is up, guys? It is Will Sports, and oh my God, what a finish to the Jets game as the Jets take down the Bills 22-16. This was an amazing finish, amazing game overall. So I'm gonna start from the beginning. Obviously, we all know Aaron Rodgers was, the hype was crazy this year coming into the season. Everybody wanted to see him. Well, we only got to see him for maybe a good, 3 plays. I mean, he got hurt very quickly, obviously, as their offensive line to start this game was really bad, and Rodgers was getting pressured a lot. And once he got pressured and got sacked, he took a big hit. And it was sad to see because, everyone was so hyped to watch him play and see how this Jets team is going to look with a great quarterback in play. Well, we didn't get to see that for too long, and you could just tell when he went down, the entire crowd, the entire MetLife Stadium, just lost their, fervor. Like, there was not much energy left in the building, and it felt like the Jets were just gonna get beat pretty handily by the Bills, just because it's a death blow. Like, I mean, you're a franchise that has been waiting for this moment. You finally feel like you have a roster that can compete at an elite level, and your quarterback gets hurt on the first play. And you could just tell the Jets fans were not happy. But that defense kept fighting, and you got to give this Jets defense a lot of credit. They forced Josh Allen into 3 interceptions. They contained him all night, made it really tough on him, pressured him a lot, and they kept this team in the game. And they only allowed 16 points to the Bills, one of the most potent offenses in the NFL over the past few seasons. You got to give them credit. I mean, Jordan Whitehead, he was the player of the game defensively with 3 interceptions, all 3 of them by him. I was surprised to see that, but I thought it was like one other player that had got one, but it was him that got all 3. Then you had Quinnen Williams. You just had a great game by their entire defense, and the defensive line was so stout, did a great job the entire way. And this was a game that it was a total team effort. And then offensively, Zach Wilson was not great, but he didn't make the mistakes that he was making. He did throw 1 interception, but overall I felt like he was pretty just he took care of the football and made the right plays. And from the beginning, the Jets were running the ball pretty well. So I felt like, especially with Rodgers out, run the ball, lean on that run game. And they did that. Breece Hall went for 127 yards on the ground. You had Dalvin Cook, who had an extra 33. So their run game looked very impressive. The offensive line was not great in pass protection, but when it came to run blocking, they did a great job. And you had Breece Hall bust out for a few runs. And just the entire game, he was getting a lot of big chunk type of carries and just continuing to move the Jets forward. And once they just made it up in their mind that we're going to run the football and that's what we're going to do, I feel like they have more success offensively, and they were able to sustain drives. And then obviously the really big play that really ignited the Jets and really got them back into the game was the catch by Garrett Wilson, where it was kind of like a curl route or an out route, and he caught it at the very end of the end zone, and Zach Wilson threw it, and he turned around, and it looked like it was gonna be incompletion, but he snagged it with one hand while he was on the ground. And Garrett Wilson made it happen. I mean, he's the guy that I think by the end of the year we'll be talking about him as one of those elite guys. Maybe not Justin Jefferson, Tyreek, Devontae Adams yet, but when we talk about AJ Brown and Jamar Chase and Stephon Diggs, even, like, he'll be in that conversation, I think. And he was amazing, on that play. He was pretty pedestrian most of the night, but that was because he wasn't getting many targets. And the Bills seemed to do a solid job on him, but also it just was the fact Zach Wilson is not a great quarterback. He played fine, but he's not great at reading the field and reading defenses, and that showed. And that's why Garrett Wilson wasn't getting as many receptions as you would typically want him to get. If Aaron Rodgers in that game, he probably has a 100-yard game probably. But give the Jets a lot of credit for their fight. And then Josh Allen made it very easy for the Jets to get back in this game because he threw 3 interceptions and he had a fumble. And we know Josh Allen has been a turnover machine over the past few years, and has the most turnovers by any player in the NFL over the last 5 seasons. So he has been very turnover prone. It continued today, and he was just very reckless. And it was just all the turnovers too. You're just like, what are you thinking on that throw? Two of them were just sending it down the field like they were punts, and I'm just like, Josh, what the hell are you doing? He's a great quarterback, but he's also a quarterback that is very just over the top and reckless, and it could get you into some bad situations. And that's the thing, you take the good with the bad with Josh Allen. There's a lot of good, but there's also a lot of bad at times, and today was just one of those games. It was a lot of bad, and the Jets obviously took advantage of that and were able to get a field goal, and they were up 16-13. And then, the Bills got the ball back, and they were able to get down to get a 50-yard field goal. Josh Allen on that drive looked pretty good. He was making some on-time throws, accurate throws, and he was slinging the ball in there. And he, anytime he was throwing the ball, I was getting scared, because I was just like, is he going to throw another interception? But he played, fine on that last drive of regulation. And then overtime came, and it was a 3-and-out. And the 3-and-out led to a punt, which led to the Jets taking it back. Xavier Gibson, who was the one that ran it back. I'm not sure how many yards it was. I think it was like 65 yards, something like that. But it was just incredible blocking by the Jets, an incredible move by him to, he was going one way and he kind of redirected to the other way and just saw a seam and took it all the way home. And you got to give the Jets a lot of credit. I'm very happy for them and their fan base, because when Aaron Rodgers went down, bro, I felt bad for the Jets fan base. And I'm a Bears fan, so I know a lot about just having bad quarterback play and just wanting your team to just be somewhat relevant. And the Jets fans, you could tell, it just felt like it was the end of the world when Aaron Rodgers left. But they were able to keep it together and give the defense credit, because they are the ones that really kept this team afloat and kept you believing that there was a chance. The Jets never looked like they were. I mean, they looked like they could have got lost by a lot, but they never were out of the game by a lot. The largest deficit they had was 10 points. So they kept it within range and just kind of kept chipping away, and they were able to win the game. And obviously, granted, Josh Allen made it very easy on them to be able to come back, but still got to give him credit for fighting. And I'm happy for Zach Wilson that at least he has something to take out of this in a positive way, because who knows how long he's going to be the quarterback for them with Aaron Rodgers out. We don't know if Aaron Rodgers will be out for a few games or if he'll be back next week. We don't know. We don't know the status right now, but I'm hearing it's an Achilles, so I would think that could be, at minimum, half the season, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not a doctor, obviously, but we will get the status on that soon. But just very happy for the Jets fans, the Jets franchise, that they were able to get a win like this. And who knows how far this will take them. There's still going to be problems with this team that showed today. Like, the offensive line has a lot of improvement to do, and I'm concerned if Zach Wilson is going to be their quarterback going forward, if they'll be able to consistently move the ball. But I know that defense is damn good, and they won 7 games last year with Zach Wilson and Mike White, so I think they can still get back to that. And maybe Aaron Rodgers comes back soon, and if they could just tread water without him, I think they should be fine. But at least you have this as a Jets fan. You won this game against a divisional opponent. The team that's been the best team in the division over the past, however many seasons. The Bills have been that team running the AFC East, and the Jets start their season off with a win in very impressive fashion. This caps off just a great weekend of NFL football. I mean, there were so many great games. I didn't get to cover everything else, but the Jets, great start to the season, great team effort, and that defense, like I said, that defense is going to keep them in any game. If Zach Wilson could just be average and just take care of the football and, manage the game in a good way, and they lean on that run game, I think the Jets can still be perfectly fine and be a competitive team and win a lot of games. It's just about not making the mistakes. You are going to need your quarterback to be able to make the throws down the field. That is important because it's going to limit their offense if Zach Wilson is not able to make certain throws. But as long as he's not making the bad throws that are directly to the other team, and he is picking up on reading the field better, I just think that's the main thing. Is like, he's got to see those open receivers. He's got to be able to process all these things at the right time. And I think that's always been his problem, at least since he got to the Jets. So great win for the Jets, though. Very proud of them, and they start the season off 1-0. They did better than one other New York team we saw yesterday in the Giants. So great start to the weekend. But yeah, this is just a quick little recap of the game. Great all-around effort by the Jets. Let me know what else y'all think down below. And yeah, I'll be making more videos soon. And yeah, it's been Will Sports. Peace.